Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. It's an absolute honor to welcome to the show actor, director, filmmaker William Demeo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Can we call you Will or William? Which
William
one do you
is
prefer?
great.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
William.
I like it.
Mr. Demeo. You have a strong name, William. Were you named after anyone?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's led to strong roles.
Well, it's funny because when he came from Italy, his name was Mariano, but nobody could pronounce it right, so they called him William, and I'm named after him, which is Guglielmo in Italian.
You're Italian. Sexy.
Speak Justin's language right there.
Yes. You've got an incredible new film coming out. It's a Gotti film, nationwide, June 15th. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, I'm so excited about it. Yes, it hits theaters everywhere, and John Travolta's been promoting it everywhere, and I've had a great run with this and enjoying every minute of it to co-star with John and to be in a movie of this magnitude of the Dapper Don, John Gotti, and to play in a movie with the biggest mobster of all time,
Right.
pretty much. It's amazing to be involved
But this
with
story
this
is near and dear to your heart, correct? Tell us a little bit about how you relate to this story.
Well, growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, John Gotti, that was kind of his stomping grounds, was in Brooklyn, right where I live. So, and the character I play, Sammy the Bull, is from Brooklyn. So it hits close to home because of, and being that I've been in a lot of these movies, I had to be in the Gotti movie. Like, if I wasn't in the Gotti movie, I literally would have been like, when I knew I've been following it for years. It took a while for the movie to wind up developing and getting it all together. And I was following it from the beginning, and I was hoping and praying that I'd be a part of it. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it and to be here right now.
Let's take a look at the trailer.
No. You know everybody in this room?
Yes.
This is a society of brothers, a Cosa Nostra. You are now about to be inducted as a member of the Gambino family. Honor this oath. If you divulge any secrets of this family, your soul will burn like this saint. You never raise your hands to a made man. If you're ever caught with a made man's wife, you'll be killed. We don't bombs. We don't endanger civilians. The use of drugs prohibited. Lastly, and most importantly, we don't like rats. We kill rats. You're questioned by law enforcement, you tell them to go f*** themselves. You're now reborn. This is your baptism, and we are your family.
Yes.
So it's really a story about redemption, right? I mean, it's, tell us what that means exactly. What the story plays out.
Well, that particular scene is when you're inducted into the family. It's called getting your button, and in the real story, John Gotti Jr. said that his father didn't want to be the one, because normally the boss inducts the person in, but Sammy was the underboss, and John's father, he wanted to see him after he was inducted by Sammy. So that's an actual real ritual to when you become a made man. It's a very, that's you're in the family now, you're part of the family.
Kind of like that in Hollywood, huh?
Did you have any reservations about playing this role of Sammy the Bull?
Well, the only thing was obviously because of what went down of him being the rat in the movie, and but to be part of it, and to play a character like this, I mean, of course, since I'm from Brooklyn, there are people that kind of like, why did you play that character? I mean, I'm in the John Gotti movie.
Well, really, there was pushback in the community from that.
Well, not necessarily pushback, but people obviously, because of, you come from New York and that tough kind of street at where you live, it's like kind of when you run into people, they're just like, they joke and stuff like that, but they know. It's a character that I play. I'm happy to be part of the movie, and Sammy's a very interesting he's a big part of the movie, and I really was glad to sink my teeth into the character, and being from Brooklyn, I kind of knew a lot about him just because people I know knew him as well.
As a kid and growing up, did you ever imagine that at this point in your life you'd be in a Gotti film opposite John Travolta? Was that even in your mind?
Well, It's crazy. It's seriously, and to be honest with you, to think about something that's happening this Tuesday is that, like, I'm a huge Saturday Night Fever fan because Saturday Night Fever was shot. It's a big, Brooklyn movie. Tony
I'm
Manero.
still staying alive.
I'm like literally, I'm literally like,
Saturday
I was
night.
like as a kid, like obsessed with that movie. And there's a pizzeria, and I don't know if you guys know the movie when he's walking with the paint can and he stops at the window and he says, give me 2 slices. And he's walking with the paint can down 86th Street, Staying Alive is playing. and that pizzeria is still in my neighborhood. It looks exactly the same. And I talked to John when we're doing all this promotion. I said, John, I think that maybe it would be great for you to come back to Brooklyn where you started with Welcome Back, Kotter and Saturday Night Fever.
Gosh, right?
And come back to the neighborhood and he's like, that sounds great, William. So, I mean, you talk about a dream. How about this dream? I mean, I'm bringing John Travolta back to Brooklyn.
Wow.
We're shutting down 86th Street, and John's coming back, and me and Senator Golden, Marty Golden, the senator of Brooklyn, are honoring John Travolta in front of like 3,000 people in the streets in Brooklyn, and you can't get more. The train above you, like in the middle of our speeches, we're gonna have a train rumbling over. It's like, so to answer your question, it dream come true. I can't even imagine that is amazing, and it just excelled into such a point where I became close with John and the producers, and I'm really it's amazing. Really is amazing.
People are familiar with the Gotti story, but how is this inception different?
Well, they've made a few different, and I was in one of the movies, which was called Boss of Bosses, which was about Paul Castellano, who was assassinated by John Gotti, and I played Carlo Gambino as a kid. So that was one story from the Castellano side, and then there was the HBO movie with Armando Sante playing John Gotti. This is different because this is a little more the father and son relationship, a little more of the background of his family and stuff, which I think is interesting because it shows the other side. Like I've said in interviews before, kind of like how people love The Sopranos because you got to see the other side of Tony Soprano, how he had problems with his family and stuff. And John Gotti was, believe it or not, he was very close with his family, and it shows kind of the whole relationship between him and his son and how that went down when his son, they couldn't even actually see each other. They were both in prison, and it's crazy just, the whole backstory. That's what's kind of interested me more about it.
But now you're like a leader of the gangster whole world because you were on Sopranos, you got this, you got another series going on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have a series I developed called, I've made some films myself, and I thought that TV is where to go these days, and I felt that it's been a while since there's been a Soprano, and I think everyone really kind of misses a show like that. That was the Sunday night. Everybody watched.
It was the rite of
everyone,
passage for
tuned
Hollywood.
into the Sopranos, and it's been a long enough time, and I felt like I could keep telling stories every week based on the way I grew up, and I developed a series called The Neighborhood, which is about growing up in Brooklyn in the 80s, and it's really cool. And I shot the first 2 episodes, and we have a trailer, and we're pitching it to networks now. It's being repped by CAA, and I'm really excited about it. You can see the first 2 episodes on YouTube if you want. Type in The Neighborhood William Demeo.
Well, it's going to be a cult series for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel very good about it, yes.
You're making me look forward to The Rain just so I can binge watch the show. That's awesome.
No joke. Great title. I love that. The
Thank you.
Neighborhood.
Thank you.
Well,
Brilliant.
thank you so much for being here, for sharing your time, your talent,
Absolutely,
your
I
story with
appreciate
us.
it. So nice to be
Thank
here.
you so much.
The new
Yeah.
Gotti film will hit theaters nationwide June 15th. Stay
You gotta
tuned.
go see it.
We'll be there.
Or we'll take you out.
We'll be back tomorrow on Good Morning
will.
Lala. Stay tuned.
Thank you.